And now it's time for Church Chat.
Greetings, friends. It's a joy to welcome you to another edition of Church Chat. I'm joined today by Penny Nutbrown, our children's minister, coordinator of all of our children's ministries here at St. John's, who has been very busy in these past days with several initiatives that we're looking forward to talking about together. Penny, it's a joy to see you virtually, and I've actually been able to see you in the flesh a little bit over the past few weeks as we've been gathering again at St. John's. How are you doing in this strange time?
I've been doing well, actually. There, you have to say that every day is a new adventure of what's going on. So I retired in June, at the end of June. That had been my long-range plan. COVID just added a new kind of element to it. And what I've been doing this fall is I've been providing some home daycare to some of my friends. So we've got children in the house for the first time ever, and it certainly makes things very exciting and makes the living room have a whole different feel when it's full of toys and things. So I've been busy doing that, and then lots of stuff related to church. And so yeah, I've been doing very well, and I'm very grateful for that fact. And hopefully we can weather through this time as well as we can.
I suppose that's true for all of us, is just moving ahead as best we can, and with good courage and hopefully good humor as well. Yours is a true vocation, even in retirement. You are busy with the care of children in your home and here at church on Sunday mornings. It's a delight that we've been able to gather the children of this parish for safe, physically distanced, but meaningful Christian education opportunities. You've been very busy with that. It's the outdoor Sunday school program, so you're doing a lot of outdoor educational activities. I wonder if you might tell us a bit about how outdoor Sunday school has been going and what you've been up to.
Okay, so what we were doing from about April to June, we were doing online Sunday school. So we ran from 10 to 11 every morning on Zoom live. And then in the summer, we actually purchased a program from Illustrated Ministries called Compassion Camp, which ran all summer. So it was, again, once a week online, but we also had a website. So we had a website where if you missed a week, you could go there and find the craft, find the stories, find the music. And we had a really large number of children participating. We had a core group that came every week. We had some that came in and out, and then we had some that came to visit. We had children from our parish, but we also had children from other Northumberland Anglican parishes. We have had kids who aren't churched at all, as we say. And we even had one little guy check in a couple of times from Wales. He found us online and he checked in from Wales. So that was a really good experience. And the kids enjoyed it. The parents enjoyed it. A lot of the parents stayed and did the morning compassion camp with us. But when we were rolling into September, and I started to think, well, let's see if we can't bring the kids together in a safe way. So outdoor education is something that I've always really loved when I was teaching in the classroom. And we were very, very fortunate in Northumberland County because our outdoor education center through Kawartha Pine Ridge was at the Laurie Lawson Center. And the program was run by Mark Rupke, who is an amazing outdoor educator. I kind of think he's kind of like a little bit of a cross between Grizzly Adams and Santa Claus. And the kids would always come back from that day in the woods and just say that was the best day. And you never had trouble getting parent volunteers if you were going to the outdoor education center, because regardless of the weather, we were outdoors all day and we had a great day and the kids loved it. So having gone many, many times with the classes, I started thinking about, well, what are the things that I've learned from Mark and the experience that maybe we could bring to the church forum. So our outdoor Sunday school was born beginning of October, end of September, beginning of October. We just had our 5th week anyway. So we have varying number of kids who attend, but we have a little core group that come every week. And we have 2 parents that come every week. So in order to work under the diocese guidelines, The kids, if they're under 10, they need to be accompanied by an adult because, of course, we're not allowed to help them with anything they might need physically. And they need to wear a mask, and we remain socially distant from one another. So we've had several classes now, several weeks now, and we put a great big tarp on the ground, and we all sit around the tarp because everybody has a spot on the tarp so that we're 6 feet away from each other. When there's a craft, everything is prepackaged by me in a zippy, and they get their craft bag, and then they make the craft with the things that are in there. So they're not sharing crayons, scissors, anything like that. And so every week we have some stories, both secular and Bible stories. We have devotions that combine a bit of science with theology, and we always have a craft. So far we've made all kinds of things. We've made bee houses for solitary bees that the kids have taken home. Catherine McComb generously donated a whole bunch of plant stems from her garden. So we made little bee houses that the kids took home and hung. We've made mobiles. We've made waxed leaf garlands. We've made birds' nests. And then this past week, we made an attempt at putting up a bigger piece of art that was a communal piece of art that we can share with our parish and with our neighbors. I haven't been up since Sunday, so I don't know how much of it is still up after our Sunday monsoon and yesterday's wind, but if it's fallen down, we'll put it back up next week. But essentially what we've done is we've strung a web between 2 of the big maple trees in front of the parish hall. And into the web, we've woven various natural things. We've woven garlands of leaves, we've woven plant stems, we've hung pine cones and acorns. And our hope is that other people walking by will add to this. So we're trying to highlight the interconnectedness of all creation with the interconnectedness of community. So we put it up on Facebook that we would really love people to participate. We'll continue to work on it over the next number of weeks as we do other things as well. But we wanted to put something up that the community could participate in with us. In addition to that, we have games that we can play at a social distance. The kids have invented games that they can play at a social distance. So while I'm dealing with one thing over here, they've invented a whole other game called leaf tag, where they throw leaves at each other so they're not touching each other. Infinitely imaginative. And anyway, the kids seem to be really enjoying it. The parents seem to be enjoying it. And it's been nice too, because we've had people coming into or leaving Sunday service just pop by and watch from a safe distance. But I think I've had a couple of people, particularly senior members of the congregation, just comment on how nice it is to see kids.
Yeah, so well, it's one of the great joys of life in the community of faith is that it's one of the only places in the world where people across the generational spectrum interact. And we have parishioners all the way up into their high 90s, our seniors, and then we have parishioners who are only weeks old. So it's a real joy to have that kind of opportunity for that intergenerational interaction, even if it is at a safe distance. But what I'm hearing as well is that you're providing a space, and by extension, we, the parish, are providing a space for kids to be kids, to come up with games, to play, to interact in as normal a way as they possibly can while remaining safe. And that's such a wonderful blessing, particularly as we hear about some of the stresses and strains that have been put on little ones, particularly when online school was the norm, as it still is for some kids. And there are good reasons behind that and all, but it's something that I think is really an important part of our ministry. Our most sacred obligation, I've always said, is to the children in our midst. And here you're doing wonderful work with them and letting kids be kids.
We have beautiful grounds too for children. What is it? Some people have said it's the prettiest corner in Port Hope, right? Where St. John's is. And there's just so much scope for imagination, to quote Anne of Green Gables, in that environment. So there's a woodland patch, and there's open space, and there's places under trees, and there's bushes to hide behind, and animals to look for, and different things to pick up and identify. So I think outdoor learning is huge. I mean, we are very lucky. We actually have in this area a forest school out at Oak Goat, to the Road Less Traveled Academy. And there are many things that we can learn from that experience, but kids need to be outside, and they love to be outside. And so giving them an opportunity to do that is great. And I mean, I read somewhere recently that, by the age of 2, most children can recognize 50 brand logos, but couldn't tell you one bird from another.
Right.
Right. So we've been doing things like, I've gotten out my old Observer's Guide to Birds, and I bought a book of bird songs the other week where you actually push the button and the bird sings, and then they have to figure out what bird it is. We're going to be making bird feeders in the next couple of weeks. So again, we're consulting our What to Feed Ontario Birds books, but it's been good to have the kids engaged in something that there's something that they can take home that's a product they can share with their family. But at the same time, a lot of the things that we're making are things that are for the benefit of nature. So the bee houses and the bird feeders and all these things that we can make that actually give the children a role in creation care. And we talk a lot about creation care and the role of human beings in creation to be stewards of this earth.
And a holy calling. Just open your Bible, read Genesis chapter 1. There exactly. It is that we are to tend the earth, to subdue it, to be stewards of creation. That's woven right into the fabric of our faith, and it's a wonderful Christian education opportunity. I think also a wonderful entree for families as well, who are looking to raise their children in a community of values, who perhaps have not heard the gospel before, but do care, as we all should, about the goodness of creation and the natural world, and being good stewards of it. So having that, it's not in a cynical or opportunistic way, but making that connection between the creation and the creator, I think that's a pretty easy step to make. And so often when I talk to people who are not of any particular religious faith, they'll often talk about seeing a sunset or walking in the woods, or the beauty of and stillness that they find in nature, and feeling that sense of transcendence, that there they feel that they are connecting to something bigger than themselves. Well, yes, indeed. So having that as the focus of Christian education at this time, I think, is a real opportunity. There's some language I've heard where the words crisis and opportunity are the same. I think that actually we're seeing quite a lot of that during this time, where we have, depending on our lens, we might say, well, this is a crisis, what are we to do? Well, we say, actually, now we have a new opportunity to engage in a new way, and perhaps to engage with people like our little friend from Wales, who might not normally engage with us, with our community. That's something that we're hoping to broaden out as well. Again, talking about this prettiest corner in Port Hope and the natural beauty that we have here with our spiritual garden project. And I know that you've been involved in a lot of the planning for that. It's something that we're looking toward groundbreaking in the spring of 2021, but plans are already underway. I wonder if you might talk a little bit about that project.
This is a very exciting project. We have a couple of community partners that we're working with as well. So we're working with We Are Punk Rock Producers, which is a community garden group that's been running for a long time under the leadership of Craig Smith, who is absolutely amazing. And we're also working with our partners at Port Hope for Future, with whom we did Repair Cafe back in February. And both of those groups bring to the table with us so many new ideas and also expertise. Craig used to have a garden downtown right on John Street that he almost miraculously created out of the vacant lot behind the old Walton Hotel. And that little piece of reclaimed land for multiple seasons provided a huge amount of fresh vegetables to our local food bank every single Wednesday morning. And, you'd see Craig and one of his helpers with all these bags packed, walking up Walton Street to get to the food bank, which is in the basement of the United Church, and bringing in things like purple tomatoes and blue potatoes and, 6 different kinds of lettuce, and providing this wonderful, interesting, fresh produce to families that might not be able to access it otherwise. And so he ran that very successfully for a number of years with some volunteers. But his goal has always been to get everybody growing a little bit of their food. The lovely thing about having Craig on board is he's got so much experience that when he says, you don't want to do that, that it's based on trial and error, and you don't want to go there. And what does work and what doesn't. And even little things like, like saying, if you trim this tree 3 branches up, then you'll be able to do this, or this is the better place, on for your sun and your heat than there. Like we were thinking, okay, maybe we put a garden on the flatland, and Craig was like, no, actually you'd be better to put it between the 2 buildings, because then you create your own microclimate, and it's been amazing. And then the ladies from Port Hope for Future, who came with us for this summer to do some walkthroughs and planning, they were just bursting over with all kinds of ideas about things for the children's area. So we've actually already got something up in the children's area. We have a solitary bee house, which was donated by Nearly View Downtown, that the children have put up, and somebody else donated a bird house and a bat house. So we'll get those up when we get someone with a ladder to come and help. And but that whole area towards the back, we're planning for it to be the kind of space where children can wonder. So we're looking at things like building a mud kitchen and putting up art installations that'll vary, and things for the kids to make and create. And we're hoping that, yes, we could use it for Sunday school, but we could also use it, for different activities. Like if we have a repair cafe again, when we're able, that could be an area for children to go and do something. We are partnered with Greenwood, and for the Greenwood dinners, there's a lovely area that the families could participate in. So we're really looking at it having a broad appeal to many members of the community. So I know that our plan kind of consists now for starting up with a small veggie garden and a children's area, and then someplace where you can just sit and be quiet in nature. And so Shane Watson is kind of the mastermind behind this. He's got lots of plans. He's the grant proposals. And we've been pulling this committee together. There's a number of people from our parish, and then again, these other 2 groups. And we're just looking at good ideas. So if people have good ideas that they'd like to share with us, just as people did with Repair Cafe, shoot us an email or contact us on Facebook and say, hey, I think this would be really cool if you tried that in your space. We're more than willing. We're quite eager to get ideas from as many people as possible about what we're going to do with this beautiful space.
Certainly, and it's a very exciting project. And again, that multi-generational sort of element and multi-use space, and really, I think also making it invitational to the community, treating this as community space. I mean, it's a beautiful lawn right now, but here we've got this wonderful space that we can utilize for our mission and ministry and outreach, and do so in a variety of ways. And I think also it'll be nimble enough, it'll be conducive to a shape-shifting over time. We're going to use one space as a gathering space, but we can then turn it into something else, talking about art installations as well that might go in from time to time and then be replaced by others. So a wonderful, exciting project. Watch this space, folks. You're going to be updated as that project unfolds, and we do look forward to updating you more and more. Now, finally, Penny, I just wanted to talk about one of the great traditions here at St. John's that brings a lot of children and people of all ages to the church, which is the Christmas story. Things are being done a little bit differently this year, and one of the many hats that you wear at St. John's is as one of the co-coordinators of this new Christmas story effort. We heard a little bit from Kathy Mason during our second to last edition of Church Chat, but I wonder if you can just provide us with any more little insights, perhaps a request for materials, whatever you have to say about the Christmas story.
Definitely, we would love to get more stories and photos and video out there from Christmas past that we can incorporate into the project. We we're planning to go filming on Sunday, but then, as I said, we had the monsoon, so we didn't go. But there are plans for this coming Saturday. There will be filming happening out at Richardson's Lookout. And so we're going to film a few scenes there on the coming weekend. And we're going to also filming at the Primrose Donkey Sanctuary. And we're also going to be filming at Oslin's Farm. So Shane and Watson and Martha Sienna went out yesterday and did some location scouting. And so they went out they met Primrose, the 46-year-old donkey that will have a major role in Christmas Story this year. And they also met some of Cindy Oslin's sheep who will be appearing, and took some photos. So I've got a couple of photos that I'll put up on Facebook of some of our newest cast members. Personally, I am so excited to have a real donkey. I have to tell you, I've been wanting a real donkey in the Christmas Story for a long time. So I'm very happy that we have a donkey. So we're going to be filming. People are filming scenes in their bubbles. So, we have one family who are going to be shepherds, and they're going to go and have a bonfire in one of their relatives' back fields, and they'll be all in shepherd garb. And then we're filming Cindy Oslin's sheep, and then we'll merge the two. So the shepherds will have some genuine sheep. Martha's very excited about the sheep. And then we'll intersperse all of these newly produced scenes with archival material and remembrances. So it's still a really cool way to celebrate the 60th anniversary. Back when we were talking about this in the summer, and it was like, well, we're probably going to have to cancel doing Christmas Story. And it was disappointing in a number of ways. First of all, because it was the 60th anniversary. And second of all, I build my year around Christmas Story, and I love nothing more than taking the shepherd's robes up one year and then bringing them back down the next, because if the shepherds are short this year, they will be tall next year. It's just how it goes. Same for the angels. So I love every aspect of Christmas Story. I love the kids running around, yelling at the shepherds, stay away from the angels, and all kinds of stuff. And I also love the community aspect to it. And then there's no happier moment in my life than when I stand at the back of the church at the final scene, when the whole cast is up there, and you see the very wide variation in age, in ability, gender. It's just the best of community. So I think I and a lot of people were quite sad at the thought that wouldn't be happening this year. But again, Shane Watson gets these great ideas. And so with Kathy and Shane talked it out amongst themselves, and then Martha and I kind of got involved as well, and Bill Bickle and Steve Wright and a few other people. And we're kind of we meet for an hour on Zoom on Sunday afternoons. And we've been working on what will the scenes look like? What do we need? Breaking everything down, kind of storyboarding a little bit. And we're putting together something that I think will be really, really special and really meaningful. And that will be a worthy tribute to the 60 years that Christmas Story has been such a large part of Port Hope Christmas. I'm looking forward to seeing the final product, but at the same time, I'm really enjoying the process of this creation that we're doing right now.
Oh, that's just marvelous. And what a way to redeem what otherwise might have been just a pure disappointment. I think to have a video that not only will be special in its own right, but something that people can look back on for years to come as a celebration of the Christmas Story and the enduring spirit of that wonderful gospel story that we gather around as a community from generation to generation each year. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. Penny, it's been a joy talking with you today. Thank you on my own behalf, and on behalf of all of the people at St. John's, especially our most cherished members, our children, for all that you do, for your passion, for your wit, and your ingenuity and integrity. You are a blessing to me and to this parish. So thank you very much. And to all those watching, God bless you, and we'll see you again in this space before long. Bye-bye.